everyone, it's Sharona from Pay or Wait, and today I'm going to be reviewing American Horror Story 1984, Episode 2, Mr. Jingles. Hey guys, I'm so sorry. I set an alarm last night. I was like, I'm going to take me a quick little 2-hour nap, and then I'm going to wake up and watch the show, and then I'm going to go ahead and get this review out. But my body said, Beesh, you are out of control. You only had 2 hours of sleep the day before. You about to get this 8 hours of sleep. And I woke up at 4 o'clock like, dang, oh my goodness. But I've watched the episode. Let's talk about it. Forgive my hair because it's doing whatever it wants to do today. So it is what it is. So the episode opens up and we see that Karen, who is a psychiatrist that was treating Mr. Jingles when he was in the hospital, we see that she's driving to Camp Redwood. She's going to basically tell Margaret, like, hey, Mr. Jingles on the loose. He been looking for you. He's obsessed with you. He's ready to kill you. So you need to go ahead and shut this down. I understand what you were trying to do, but it's not safe for you. And what has Margaret done behind you? She was like, I will not live in fear, okay? And then she pulls out this gun and she was like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not shutting this camp down. I'm ready for him, okay? Mr. Jingles, come find me. I'm taking him out. Like, that's not really what she said, but that's basically what she was insinuating. I said, okay, Margaret, you stupid. So if you end up dying by the end of this season, I'm not even gonna feel sorry for you because Karen then risked her life trying to warn your behind. And of course, when she tries to leave the campground, because she said, okay, well, if this beast want to die, I'm gonna let her die, but I'm gonna get my behind up out of here. But Mr. Jingles has a trap set. She immediately gets a flat tire, and then a car pulls up behind her in the truck, and then of course it's Mr. Jingles. But I was like, how he pull you up out of the car? Not only did he pull you out of the car, he pulled you all up out your shoes. I said, dang, you just pulled her out, she ain't had no shoes on. I was like, what is happening right now? So he basically ends up killing her and takes her ear off. It was really gross to watch. I've learned that it's just no point in me trying to eat while watching American Horror Story because there's just going to be a whole lot of blood and guts, as we saw from tonight's or last night's episode. We see that the Night Stalker, actually, no, I'll get into that later. We're going to switch to Brooke real quick. So Brooke is watching the news, and she basically sees that there's been a murder from the Night Stalker, and she tries to tell them, like, hey, he came here looking for me, and they looking like, girl, like, aren't you tired of being afraid, of being scared? Like, just chill out for a moment. Just be easy real quick. And so we see that Margaret interrupts them. It's like, hey, guys, this is not godly. I told you no co-eds in the room. We're not doing this cohabitating. Y'all need to go take your showers because it's nighttime. Wash that little filth and the sin up off of you. And so she sends the boys along their way, and then Margaret and Montana, they're kind of just talking, and then Montana is just telling her, like, you don't have to, like, live in fear. Like, you can take back your power. Then she tells the story of how her mama sent her to fat camp. I was like, that's so disrespectful. She was like, I was chubby, but I was still cute. I said, okay, girl, you still cute no matter what. And so she's kind of just trying to make her feel better. And then basically Brooke tells her this story. And remember, I was like, was she married before? Because she was playing with the ring in the first episode. And so we see that she was going to marry her longtime love, Joey. Okay, they were saving themselves for each other. And something seemed off with Joey. I was like, what is happening? Like, he just doesn't seem like he's in the right frame of mind to get married right now. And so we find out that, you know, he basically calls her out and was like, well, since we talking about what's wrong with me, I went to your house to tell you how I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. But I saw my raggedy friend Sam go into your place, and he didn't come out till the morning. I said, oh, look at him spilling his tea on the wedding day. But I was like, girl, you slept with Sam? But then we find out she didn't even sleep with him. And so he get all crazy. And then the dude tried to tell him, like, nothing happened. But then he ends up killing Sam, then killed their daddy. I was like, dang, what you kill her daddy for? Like, that's not even necessary. And then he ends up, he, like, says, you don't deserve to wear white. And then he shoots himself, and the blood gets all on her. I'm looking shook. Ain't nobody in the church that looked shook because they saw him pull that gun out and they ran up out of there. But I was just like, sir, we did all of this? I was like, dang, and she didn't even smash the homie. You thought she smashed her homie. You done did all of this. You could be living your happily ever after, and she wouldn't even be in this mess at Camp Redwood. But you decided that you didn't want to believe her. So I thought that was mad disrespectful. But what I was so confused about is after her telling the story, Montana decides that this is a good time to try to kiss her. And I was just like, girl, read the room. She just told you about how the person that she loved the most killed himself, killed her daddy, and killed his best friend. And you sitting up here thinking like, oh, this is the perfect time to kiss her. Like, what were you thinking? I'm just real confused. But we cut to see that the guys are walking to go find the showers. And I was wondering, I was like, why everybody got a towel but Xavier? Like, what he finna do, like air dry or something? And so he walks in and he was like, what? There's no like soaps and stuff? I said, sir, you are in the middle of the woods. What did you think was about to happen? So then he's like, I'm finna go get my beach towel. And then Trevor looking like beach towel. I was like, no, he right, beach towel, because you don't want to use a regular towel because you can't wrap yourself all up. You want to make sure that you got enough cloth to get it together, to get yourself dry in every little nook and crevice. So I felt Xavier with that. But while Xavier is trying to go get his beach towel, which he should have had in the first place, he ended up getting kidnapped by this dude, and his name is Blake. And so basically, I'm like, he made him call him daddy. I was like, oh, that's your sugar daddy. I was like, okay, good for you, Xavier. These bills is hard, okay? You're a struggling actor. But we find out that, like, Xavier used to be on drugs. Blake's talking about, like, I found you with a needle in your arm and I got your life back on track. You pretty, but you still work for me. And then we see that he did gay porn. But then he was like, I'm not even gay. And then he tries to tell him, like, look, I can get you somebody better. Like, I don't want to live this life no more. I'm trying to be a serious actor up out in these streets. And so he tried to run away. And then Blake grabbed him, got choking him, threatening him, but then he's like, no, for real, I got somebody for you. And so then we cut to the showers. I was like, Mr. Shoe. I know his name Trevor in here, but he always gonna be Mr. Shoe to me. And they sit up here taking these showers. I just like, look at all these abs in the room. And I'm looking at my stomach like, where are you, abs? But it's okay. So basically, they're taking a shower, and then we see someone like peeking through a hole, and I was just like, hold up, what are we doing? And we realize that it's Blake. And so as Blake is trying to be a peep in time, and guess we know by now that Trevor is well endowed. We knew that from the little shorts. He was bulging out of his shorts in the first episode, and then everyone having this topic of discussion. And so we see that as he's peeping, he gets stabbed in the eye. Mr. Jingles came for him because we saw Xavier try to run away while he was like watching. So Mr. Jingles kills him, but they don't see. They walking out of the shower. Everything is fine for them. But then we see, well, I'll wait for that. So I didn't lost my time. I was going off of my mind right now. So yeah. So after all of that, we see that during the showers or afterwards, actually no, while they were taking a shower, Margaret thinks it's a good idea to turn the lights off. I guess she was like, y'all knew what time the schedule was, and I told y'all to go to bed early, so we don't need no lights to be up out here wasting the electricity bill if everybody's supposed to be in their room sleep. So I was like, I guess I could understand why you did what you did, but I felt like it's a little bit OCD, but it is what it is. So the lights turn off. Of course, after the kiss with Montana and Brooke run off. I'm like, girl, you just talking about how you saw the Night Stalker. You saw it on the news, and your idea is, let me go take a casual stroll in the middle of the night when you know it's like killers on the loose. Okay, I guess we're going to keep making our dumb decisions throughout the course of this season. So she's taking a walk. She goes sit at the pier. And then she feels something on her feet. And then it's Karen, the psychiatrist. She screamed, but when she turned around, she see the night killer. He was like, bitch, I told you I was going to find you. That ain't what he really said, but I mean, that's what he should have said. And so then she screams, he grabs her, he's trying to kill her, trying to stab her. And then somehow she gets away. Okay, and then she ends up running, and then he's chasing her. And then all of a sudden, somebody like basically hits him, and then this little camp counselor dude. But I was like, hold up, homie, I thought you was like hanging on the hanger, like on a doorknob, like last episode. Like, how are you still alive right now? And so then Ramirez, he like cuts him, slits out his little guts out, and I'm like, this is another reason why I just refuse to eat watching this episode, watching American Horror Story. And so then he like dies. And then all of a sudden, like, old dude turned around, but then he's like, you're not supposed to be here. I said, hold up, I thought he just killed this dude. And then Ramirez, he looking like, dang, I thought I just killed this dude. And then I was like, oh, snap, he's a ghost. So this totally debunks everyone's thoughts when they said there was a copycat killer, Mr. Jingles, because they were like, well, how did his ear get cut off? And Mr. Jingles was in the hospital. But now we know that he obviously is a ghost because Ramirez killed his behind 2 times. Then we saw his body disappear. And so we see that he finds the badge saying that he was a camp counselor back in the 70s when the whole massacre happened. So this is when things get a little bit too weird for me with Margaret. I knew I couldn't trust that girl. I can't trust anybody who can keep their eyeglasses up with her little condition. So we see that when she goes back to her place, Night Stalker waiting on her. He's like sitting up in there. She didn't even flinch. She was like, hey, who are you? I'm like, girl, so this man just in your house like this? And you just okay? You calm? She was like, oh my gosh, let me treat your wounds. I said, ma'am, this is not okay. And so she started trying to deliver him to Christ and stuff, even though he's saying I worship Satan. And so basically he tells her a story on how when he was a little kid, and when his mom was working on breathing in all these chemicals, saying that he was poisoned before he was even born, and how he started having seizures after he got hit in the head with a swing. And then his cousin, who was in the war, he showed him all these crazy pictures of dead photos of people he didn't kill his wife in front of him. So he already had a messed up childhood, being a product of his environment. And so she tries to ease him. He's like, you see me. And he was like, can I look at your feet? I said, sir, it will be the person who's a serial killer. All of a sudden you have a foot fetish now too. But it is what it is. So she basically says like, hey, you can do bad things for good. And so she basically talks him into going to kill Mr. Jingles, but she tell him you can't kill nobody else but Mr. Jingles. And I was like, you know what, Margaret, you got some real talent. If you got this dude going on a killing spree for you, you ain't gave him none. You didn't even show him your feet in the first place. Like, girl, like you need to be a life coach or something, just not coaching people to go murder people. But yeah, so he sets out to basically go kill Mr. Jingles. But in the meantime, after Brooke runs away, she runs into Montana, and then they're talking. She tried to tell him, like, look, they were trying to kill me. And then she's like, girl, can you stop with this? Then we see they hear Ray scream because they found the body, and then they looking crazy. And then when Chet was like, check his pulse, I said, sir, he literally has a whole stick going through his eye. He has not moved. I don't think we need to be checking for a pulse. Then Xavier comes, he's like, call an ambulance. Sir, the man is dead. I don't understand why y'all can't look at that man and see that it ain't no coming back for that. Talk about we gotta save him, we gotta help him. Sir, it's over and done with. I don't even know why you tripping anyway, because you was trying to run away just 5 minutes ago. So while they're doing that, then they realize, like, hey, we got to get the heck up out of here. I was like, that's the best decision that y'all done had in these past 2 episodes. And so they go get the van. The van doesn't start. I was like, oh, Lord, they finna kill him right now in this van. But then I realized we got a whole season to go through. So the van, of course, starts. They driving off. I'm like, oh, snap, they finna make it. And then what happened? Nurse Rita behind in the front of the car. They swerve, hit Margaret's car. The car stalled. Nurse Rita like, oh, I'm so hurt. I locked him in the infirmary. Girl, you know that he is still down in this infirmary. So they get the ideas. They're like, hey, okay, well, we can take the motorcycle. We can take the rabbit. I was like, rabbit, let me get my mind out the gutter. But we see that they devise a plan to split up in 2 groups. They're going to go get Nurse Rita's keys, and then Trevor is going to go get his keys. And so basically they set off on their little plan, and then they're like, Trevor finds his keys. Then all of a sudden Xavier wants to have a nervous breakdown and tell them how it's all his fault. Duh, we know it's all your fault. But then he tells them that he knew Blake and he won't get up. Then they start hearing the banging on the door. And then the other people in the infirmary, they start hearing banging on the door. And then basically, like, the banging keeps getting, like, more amplified. And then the episode ends. Dang, did I go through the episode that quick? How many minutes? This is only 13 minutes. Dang, that was pretty quick, y'all. Okay. All right. Well, I guess I said everything then. Look at that. Look at God. I think the only thing I did mention is the fact that the dude finally realized he was a ghost and he witnessed the whole massacre thing. And then he tried to run away after it. He got hit by the car. It was Mr. Jingles, and Mr. Jingles was the one who cut his ear off. So that debunked the whole rumor. I kind of touched on that, but I just wanted to go into a little bit more detail since we had all this time available. I was like, wow, I did that pretty quick. Okay, well, I guess those are my thoughts. It's getting better. I'm still not like hooked yet. I'm not like, oh my gosh, this is so good. But it's getting better. So I want to see where we're going to keep going with this. It looks like from the previews for next week's episode, we're kind of going to go back into a little bit more of Mr. Jingles and his backstory and what happened when he was in the hospital with Karen, the therapist. I don't know. I'm still not completely sold on this season, but I'm still willing to keep giving it a try. You guys let me know, like, did you like this episode? Are you like me, you're still kind of not feeling it? Or are you just getting all your 80s horror slasher vibes that's just giving you everything that you absolutely need? Let me know in the comment section below. But those are my thoughts on American Horror Story 1984, episode 2, Mr. Jingles. As always, my name is Sharana from Para Waits, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. I'll see you soon.